A mission-driven entrepreneur, welcome to a special edition of Your Site, Our Business interviews. And today we're switching roles as we have one of our very own team members with us. So currently working behind the scenes at WiseUp as a support team member and contributing to marketing and communication, Jorien. You offer a wealth of knowledge to the discussion we are having today as we dive into the essential elements to create your online presence that is irresistible to your audience. So please join me and welcome Jorien, who's not just an artist, and you're also an art historian, but you also worked as a content strategist and copywriter in the creative industry for years. So Jorien, it's really amazing that you are here.
Yes, thank you.
And
What an introduction.
I'm sorry?
What an introduction.
Yeah. So you have a really unique background that combines art history, artistry, and a career in content strategy and copywriting. So can you share us how this diverse experience has shaped your perspective on creating that irresistible online presence that our clients want to create?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I started out as a art historian. I studied art history. And yeah, of course, art is really my passion and my dream. And what I was always interested in when I was studying, and also later when I worked in the art world, in the creative sector here in the Netherlands, is basically not really about how art is made, but more about the context behind art. So, what is the story behind art? Why was it made? So, what was the idea of the artist? What was the concept? And that was basically something that I also, transferred into my work because I worked a lot in communications in the art world. I wrote a lot about art. I did a lot of teaching about art, and I was always busy with the context of art. What is the story behind it, and also how can you make it as authentic as you are? Because every artist has its own voice, and of course you want to convey that authenticity and that story you have. And how do you do that with all of the all of the other communications that is out there? So that was something that I was really interested in. And then later I worked more like in the business industry. I started out as a copywriter because I had a lot of experience in writing. And then a little bit more into depth about how do you do content strategy. So I became more like a professional in that area. But that experience helped me out a lot because it basically was the same question, like um, how can we convey our story to our audience? That's basically the same, right? That's also what you do in a business. So it really helped me because I was always very busy with how can we make it stick to any audience? How can you make what you want to say stick? And how can you make sure that it also makes an impact? Because that's what you want to do, of course. That's why you are doing what you are doing. That's why you have a business. That's why you are an artist. So that really helped me. And what I discovered that it has to do a lot with the why, the how, and the what, basically. But the why is one of the most important things. So why do you do what you do? And if you can convey that in a very honest and a very easy way to your audience, I think that's the most important thing to make sure you have a connection with them.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is really the question, right?
Yeah.
What are these essential elements that are create that? Yeah, and I love that you use the word authentic because that's what we really all crave. That
Yeah.
authenticity, because that makes you really irresistible. So what
Yeah.
are those elements? I've heard you talk about the why. Is there anything else you want to share about that with us, or are you going to go deeper in those other elements? You make me very curious.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me just touch the other elements very briefly, and then I can go more into depth about why it's so important to have a why. But yeah, the first one is to know why you do what you do. So that has to do with your purpose and your beliefs, basically. The second one is to know more about your value proposition, and that has to do with the value you offer. And it could be the value you offer as an artist, it could be the value you offer in your business, it doesn't matter. But the proposition, the value proposition is basically it's about a certain elements, so your audience knows very quickly and easily yeah, what value you bring to them, and that's very important
What do
because
you think YSOP's value proposition is, just for curiosity?
I think the value that YSOP brings is that they make, or we make, uh, we make it very easy for mission-driven entrepreneurs to make a difference in the world. That's our value. So we help them with their website, with all of the technical stuff, and that's also very result-driven because yeah, in the value proposition, you have to know what result you bring. So we want to make sure that mission-driven entrepreneurs have a very yeah, smooth sailing, basically. So I think that's YSOP's value proposition. But to come back to the elements, we can go more into depth about that later if you want. And then the third element that is very important, yeah, it is kind of a trend, and I know that people are a bit like, it's a bit of a no-brainer, but it is really important, and I will tell more about why that is important later. But it is storytelling, so it's very important to do storytelling. Also, in your business, it doesn't matter what you do, that's very important. The next one is maybe a bit more, is maybe something that not everyone knows about or has heard about. But I also will go more into depth about that because it's very valuable if you have more insight into this, and that is the customer journey.
Yeah.
Customer journey is basically that you have more insights in the journey your audience takes from being yeah, not at all engaged with you to being yeah, loyal customer. I mean, that doesn't happen in an instant, it doesn't happen overnight, so it's a journey. And in marketing and communications, it's very important to know that journey, so you know when and what and how you do with your marketing. So that's a tip. And then the last element is to know your brand voice. And it's a bit different than tone of voice. I will go into depth about it more. So I hope that's not too, yeah, too difficult, but I think it will become clear along the way.
Yeah, I'm making notes too because I'm still learning a lot from your expert skills. So we have the why,
Okay.
the value proposition,
Yeah,
storytelling, the customer journey, and to know your voice brand. So
yeah,
you already talked a little bit about the why and the value proposition with, yeah, and a great YSOP example. And what about storytelling? Can
yeah.
you share a little bit more about how businesses can effectively incorporate storytelling in their online presence and why that's important?
Definitely, yeah. And I think it also is linked with your why. So maybe just a little bit more about that. The why basically comes from a inspirator called Simon Sinek. It's something he developed. And as an example, he has the Apple company, who's very good in communicating their why, and that's why they are also market leader, because all of the other competition, they basically communicated and marketed with the what and the how. So what do we sell? Computers, phones, and how do we do it? Yeah, we make good stuff. And that's basically how a lot of companies out there, a lot of people communicate with their audience, right? And is that very compelling? Not really. So you don't have any connection with a company. And I always say, doesn't matter what you do, you always work for and with people. So it's very important to humanize what you do, to humanize your brand, to humanize your business.
Yeah.
And that's where storytelling comes in as well. So first of all, yeah, you have to know why you do what you do, why you do, what is the reason for you having this business? What is the reason for you being an artist? And if if the only reason is that you make money, then yeah, okay, it is what it is, of course. But I don't think that's the case. It's never the case. So first of all, it's very important to have that knowledge about yourself. And I think it's not so much about yourself, but more about what drives you, what is important to you. So for me, it is important with my art, for example, that I share my own journey of awakening with people, so I help them on their journey as well. That's my purpose, and it's not about me as an artist. Yeah, sometimes I think it is, but in the end, it's not. It is really about that I'm making art to help people on their journey as well, by sharing, all of that themes, all of the things that I have experienced. And yeah, so that's first of all very important to know about yourself, and then storytelling. So then you have the part of you have a little bit of authenticity. You know who you are, or you know what you do, why you do. You know what you do. Yeah, well, you
Why
know why
you
what
do?
you do. Yeah, thank you. Um, and then storytelling is very important, because it goes basically back to I wouldn't say medieval times, but back to when we were cavemen, basically, cave woman and cavemen, because our brains are wired for stories to memorize.
Yeah.
So back in the days when we were cavemen and cave women, the only thing we could do was tell stories to each other to convey information, or to, I don't know, make hieroglyphs on the wall. But they were all stories. We didn't have any fact sheets, or we didn't have mail or whatever. So that was how we shared information with each other. And that part of our brain is still in us. So it's basically called the reptile brain. It's a very old part of our brain that's still active, even though we don't have any dinosaurs anymore. So we don't have any that kind of danger. But yeah, that part of our brain is still active in a way that that our brain always thinks in danger and what is in it for me. But also, yeah, can I memorize it? Is this worth it to memorize it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Like dry information, facts, that kind of stuff is not really something that we memorize usually. Stories, on the other hand, is something we do, uh, memorize basically. And so that's why you want to incorporate it also into your business, and the way you do that in your business, or in your company, or as an entrepreneur, is, first of all, to share your own story, of course. That's a very simple tip. But you can do it by sharing your story, your journey, your own failures, your own pitfalls. And there, yeah, there you also have the factor of authenticity because you're being very transparent.
Yeah.
So you can do that, but you can do it a little bit different by, let's say you have a bigger company, you can share the founding story of the company. You can share stories of customers. You can share stories of employees or whatever it is. But you can basically pour everything into a story. But yeah, the most important thing is to humanize your brand. So to really share your own story. And you can do that by, yeah, putting it on your homepage, make a very nice about me page, tell your founding story, tell all of the things all of the challenges you have in your newsletter, just as a tip. But
Yes.
that's what comes to mind about storytelling and how to incorporate it.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking, yeah, with YSub, we sell websites. We could easily do that like anonymously, but we
yeah,
don't. We tell stories, we create videos, we share our personal name, just also to, yeah, make it more personal. And I think it's not only really great for the clients or the customers, but also for us,
yeah,
because yeah, it's a lot better to have personal relationship with your clients than, yeah, all this distance between you two. Okay, so great. So the next one, the customer journey, is there anything you want to add to that part?
yeah, yeah. And maybe to add one more thing about the storytelling about what you just said. Um, that it's also, yeah, it creates like this emotional connection for the audience, but also for yourself to hopefully keep connected to your mission. That's what I wanted to add. So that's also very important. Otherwise, yeah, you also feel like a robot, right? Yeah, you feel like a factory. So it works the other way around as well.
That's what I also always say to my clients. Your why is the most important thing because it's going to be hard. You're going to get challenges. And if your why is not big enough, you
Yeah,
won't work. You're
yeah,
going to go watch Netflix or going to go back to a day job. It's
definitely.
just not worth it. You really have to find your why. And for
Yeah.
us, for why sub, we'll talk about the why sub, the why of why sub later. But it's much bigger than just, selling these websites. We have a really big why behind why we're doing what we're doing. Because if we we wouldn't have that why, I wouldn't do it as a non-technical entrepreneur. I wouldn't do this work. But the why is so big that, yeah, it's worth it, But
Yeah.
we'll take that for another video.
Yeah, that's a whole video on itself. But yeah, that's
Why
basically,
sub?
yeah, yeah, that's a good one. We'll write it down. But yeah, that's basically how you also can overcome all of the challenges and just keep going. So it's very important.
So
Yeah,
that customer journey, yeah, why
yeah,
is that important for that irresistible online presence that
yeah.
draws
So
people to you?
yeah, the customer journey. What I said about it earlier is that it's very important to know the journey of your customer because otherwise, how do you know where they are? And it's very important to meet them where they are and then to basically step by step. I don't want to say reel them in because that doesn't feel good, but yeah, you want to invite them every time. You want them to invite them to take the next step basically with you every time, every phase.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing because, as I said, they don't become a customer or like a raving fan overnight. So don't expect if you just post one thing on Instagram that immediately you have uh, all these raving fans who are like ambassadors. That's not how it works, basically. So I'm very, yeah, sorry to shatter that dream.
I had that dream when I was beginning. I had my Dutch business, I think, for a year or something, and it was doing well, but yeah, it could still be doing better. And I
Yeah.
had the chance to interview someone who was really famous. And
Ah,
yeah, it was a really fun, famous in the spiritual world then, but
yeah.
it was a really fun experience. But I thought, whoa, if I'm going to have this interview, it's going to make all the difference. And I made sure I had all these components in place, and it was like, yeah, sure, people liked the interview, but it didn't do
Yeah.
anything. It was really consistent work, consistently showing up over a certain period of time that brought the efforts. And what you say, just walking that path together with clients, that's really the most important thing. It's not going to happen overnight. Even if you create amazing like opportunities, then you still have to like do the work, show up, and yeah, walk along with your clients, yeah, in that customer journey.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also something I experienced myself, because in the beginning I had not a lot of marketing and sales experience. So I thought, okay, I will just have a website and then people start pouring in. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you live and you learn. But yeah, having insight in that customer journey really helps you also to stay focused in what is needed to help your to help your audience in that journey, and to invite them constantly to take the next step with you. So how can you get insight into that customer journey? Well, there is like a very global journey, basically. So there are some phases that are set, but know that they are, of course, they always they are not set in stone for everyone, of course, because every audience, every company, every industry is different. But know that, yeah, it's usually these phases, but how you can get more insight into it is to, first of all, know your customer better. So to, I don't know, interview them, or people who could be your ideal client, your ideal audience. So learn more about their pain points, learn more about what they're struggling with, learn more about what they need, what kind of people are they. So that's usually what I say to people who want to know more about the customer journey.
Yeah.
So if you have that information, then you know a little bit more. But maybe it's good to give you a bit of an idea about the phases that yeah, that a potential customer goes through. So like the global customer journey in marketing terms, but know that it can be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but first of all, or did you want to ask something?
Oh, no. Just go ahead.
Yeah. So usually the first phase is that someone is not aware of you, right?
Mhm.
They don't know anything about you, and usually they also don't know that they have a problem or they have a desire.
Yeah.
So that's the first phase. The first phase is awareness, to make people aware, not of you, because it's not about you. So that's always something that I say to, I have said to clients and everything, never in your marketing start with you, never, because it's not about you. And they will not, their brain will not make a hook if you talk about you.
Hmm.
So they usually don't know that they have a problem, a desire, and they definitely don't know you.
Yeah.
So that's the awareness phase. So you need to make them aware of that. And in that phase, it's very good to talk about their problems. What could be their problems? What could be their desires? It's very good to basically make them think about that.
Yeah.
So if you then, now you have them more aware of their problems and their desires, the next phase is consideration. So that's where they are going to do research, basically. So they will dive more into, okay, what is it? Why am I experiencing this? Or why do I have this desire? How can I solve it? How can I meet this desire? So they will do research.
Yeah.
So this is a good phase to go more into depth about the problems, but also their pain points. So also to agitate a little bit more.
Mhm.
And then talk about the solution. So not your solution, just the solution, which could be, in our case, okay, use an all-in-one platform. We're not talking about us yet, but just an all-in-one platform. So so that's a phase where you can go a little bit more into depth about, also with your information. The first phase is more lighter, a little bit lighter, not too much information, because here they're now going to research it. And then the next phase is the decision purchase phase. So here you want to be very specific about what you offer, how you can help them, and then they can take the next step. If they don't have that information, then they usually are not taking the next step with you.
Yeah.
So in that phase, you have to give them all of the information about what you offer, about the product you have, about the service you have. Then they can make a decision. So in the next phase, usually you think, okay, then they're customer, that's it. But it doesn't end there, because now they are a customer, but you want to keep them a customer as well. So this is basically the loyalty phase. Well, that's not entirely true. You first have the retention phase. So in the retention phase, you can basically maybe try to help them out even more. And in business terms, you can also try to upgrade them, maybe cross-sell some stuff. So here you can basically, do business with them. And then there's a loyalty phase where, you want to make an ordinary customer basically your raving fan and your ambassador. So that's basically, in short, how the customer journey works. But what I said before is it's not as easy as how I describe it now. So you really have to understand your own customer journey.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how I always do this we are doing this with YSOP, but also with my other businesses, is really talk to the clients, really
Yeah.
get to know them, understand them, give them the chance to ask questions. So
Yeah.
and look over their shoulder how they follow the process.
Yeah.
So and then you can learn, okay, this is the steps they are taking to get this end result I am aiming to provide.
Yeah.
And then you can fill in these steps or create that customer journey from them getting to know you to them reaching that ultimate solution. Or so that's okay, great, that's very valuable.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then we have one last thing,
Yeah.
the brand
Yeah.
voice.
The brand voice, indeed. And I wanted to say something more about the customer journey, but we can do that later, because I can also talk a bit more about how WiseUp can help you with that, with the
Okay.
customer journey. But the brand voice is also very important. And okay, what is a brand voice? It's, of course, has to do with your why and everything, your mission, but it's basically how you translate it into how you talk to your customer,
Mhm.
and how you also carry yourself, right? That's the main thing about the brand voice. I think a lot of people also confuse it with a tone of voice. Uh, it's a different word. I don't like to use that word, because tone and voice is not the same thing. Uh, a tone is basically it serves a different situation. I mean, I can have a different tone throughout whatever I'm doing. Now I have a different tone than if I don't know, having a phone call with my mom. So it always is very it depends on the situation, the tone.
Yeah.
But the voice never change because yeah, you are the voice. It's your voice. You are the person, the human behind your company. So that's what you want to bring out with your brand voice. And a brand voice is usually done, or at least you can have more insights about your brand voice by knowing your values, and then translating it into what I call a this but not that list. So if you know your values, like, okay, I want to be inspiring, empowering, humble, and you say some things, and that's really good to know. Then you can, yeah, make a list for yourself, and also what you don't want to be, because that's also very important. So you also know where the line is, where the boundary is, because you can be funny, but you don't want to be childish. You can be intelligent, but you don't want to be like a know-it-all. So
Yeah.
you want to have the middle ground with that. So having your values in a this but not that list helps you to uh, have a good sense of your voice within the content you make. So if you have that, if you have it written down, or you have it in the back of your mind, it makes it easier for you to know, how do I write, how do I make content. So that's it about the brand voice. Hopefully that's helpful.
Okay, so how does Wise Up help with, yeah, uh, these five
Yeah.
keys elements?
Yeah. Well, first of all, and you also talked about it, we have a very strong why ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're all about mission-driven entrepreneurs. We're all about authenticity. So people who really have an authentic business, and who really care about making the world a better place. So that's first of all, I think. And the other thing is a more practical thing, and that ties in with the whole customer journey thing, because it's good to know your customer journey, but you also want to, yeah, know what kind of content or what kind of stuff you can do in the phases they are, right? So you know, we want to know what you have to do in
Mhm.
that phases, and also how. So basically, YSOP has a lot of marketing automation tools, but basically all of the features we have, the website, the email and CRM tool, it basically helps you to engage with your audience within all of these touch points. That's how it's called. So in every phase, you have a touch point with your audience. So you want to also be there in every phase. You want to touch your audience. So YSOP helps you with that. So YSOP helps you with the website, with marketing automations like newsletters, and you have a lot of integrations. So I think it's a very good tool to yeah, to basically make content and help your customer in every phase of the customer journey. So that I think one thing that's very nice is that we have a community system. So as we said, it's very important to humanize your brand and to make an emotional connection. Well, you can do that with the community system. And what we also offer is a lot of guidance in our videos, or how to videos, our business academy. We have a lot of guidance on how to write compelling copy, how to know more about your ideal client, how to leverage tools like ChatGPT to write your website copy, how to create nice emails. So we have a lot of guidance on that as well. So I think that's also very important to say. So I think yeah, YSOP really helps you with all of these elements, at least from my perspective.
Okay, Jorien. Well, just to wrap it up, is there
Yeah.
any last words you want to share before we finish this video?
Well, yeah. I want to add that we at least have the opportunity for you to join WiseUp, of course, with Demo Week and 30 days challenge. But maybe you can, if you want, you can share also a bit more about that. But yeah, my invitation to check it out at least.
Yeah, so Jorien shared, of course, that we can help you implement all these tools, and that we offer a free demo week that you can try out the WiseUp system for free for a week. So you can try out all the functionalities and see if it fits all your needs. And yeah, take a look at our own customer journey. So in what point of the customer journey would the demo week fit, Jorien?
I think somewhere between the consideration and the decision phase.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we help you both considering if WiseUp is the right choice and deciding, making your end decision. So
Yeah.
you can explore the platform risk-free. And yeah, head over to YourSiteOurBusiness.com. We have free gifts on the top of the page. You can see the demo week there. And yeah, Jorien also shared about the free challenge we are hosting to set up your business, to launch your business in 30 days. I'm setting up a new international business, of course, using a WiseUp website. And I'm going to show you step by step what I'm doing from day to day. You can join me, take a WiseUp website and set up your business in 30 days. We will do it together, and it will be amazing. So don't miss those opportunities. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Jorien, for sharing your wisdom with us today.
Yeah, you're welcome. I loved it. So thank you as well.
And then we will see you in the next video and on our WiseUp platform, of course.
Yes.